Affect Autism, 10 years and counting, committed to autism advocacy, empowering you with DIR Floortime. Welcome to the We Chose Play podcast. As we celebrate 10 years of Affect Autism, let's revisit some of our older blog posts, giving them a fresh update. In this episode, you'll hear a renewed version with updated insights and new perspectives. Let's dive in. You're listening to the We Chose Play podcast from Affect Autism, where affect is the number one tool we use in supporting development through playful interactions. The nuts and bolts of the Floortime session, November 12th, 2015. In the last two blog posts, we talked about starting to implement DIR Floortime for your child by first determining their individual sensory profile and then by determining where they are developmentally using a basic checklist. Now, let's talk about the nuts and bolts of starting the Floortime session. Please review the Introduction to Floortime blog for a refresher as well. The setup. Eventually, when you are comfortable with the principles of the Floortime session, you can do Floortime anywhere and everywhere. To begin, though, let's start with planning to hold the session in a preferred area at your home where your child is comfortable. Depending on your child's sensory profile, you might want this to be a place with minimal visual, auditory, and other distractions. This will allow you the best chances of engaging your child and keeping their attention. Have a few items on hand that your child might enjoy playing with. Avoid toys with batteries that entertain your child, such as toys with buttons to press that make noises. Simple items, such as balls, pillows, blankets, balloons, or bubbles are good. Example. In the photo at the blog post for this episode, the therapist chose the patio area for the session, which had minimal visual and other distractions, and it was a beautiful summer day. Our son loves accidents, such as spilled water, so the therapist used a highly motivating activity of a simple bin with water in it, knowing our son would be motivated to spill the water. Tip. The goal is to keep the child in a continuous flow of interaction for as long as possible. First, follow the child's lead. Observe and join. To start your session, you will first want to be the observer. Note what your child is doing and simply join your child in what they want to do. Do not ask your child questions, do not direct your child's play or suggest to them what to do. Do not physically move or help your child do something. Just observe and follow their emotional intent to join them in their play. Some children may have seemingly purposeless, to you, behaviors, while others might engage in play that makes sense to you. Either way, we want to participate in what is motivating for them. With more repetitive behavior, this is more or less imitating what the child is doing with the intention of getting the child to notice that you are doing what they're doing. Regardless of the type of play, it is about engaging in an activity the child enjoys so they are motivated to play with you. Dr. Greenspan always said that you want to treat every behavior as purposeful. Examples. If the child is simply rocking back and forth or picking at a spot on the floor, then you assume that that is motivating activity for them and do the same thing beside them. If they are moving a car back and forth or spinning the wheels, you join them with your own car and start by imitating what they are doing beside them. If they whack a balloon across the room, you grab a balloon and whack it back. If they jump on a big pillow, you jump on another pillow. If they want to build a tower, then knock it down, then you help them build the tower. In our example above, the therapist followed our son's lead when he wanted to put water in the bin and spill it. She helped him get the bin out, put water in it, and then was about to spill the water in the photo above. Tip. You want to always use affect to engage the child. Use sound effects, facial expressions, intonations, exaggerated gestures or body movements, and the like to invite your child into a shared world. Second, present a playful challenge. Involve yourself. You want to take joining the child a step further by involving yourself into the child's play in a playful way to share a joyful moment of interaction. Playful obstruction. Playfully entice the child to interact with you even if it only lasts for a single moment. Using affect and following the child's lead to get the child's engagement, you can begin to present little playful obstacles, always respectful, to encourage simple interactions. Using wonderment. A great way to prolong every interaction is by using wonderment. Dr. Gil Tippy likes to say that he hopes to hear from his students one day how they thought he was so slow to figure things out. So what is this about? Dr. Tippy says it's like having your foot on the gas pedal and brake at the same time. You stop and look puzzled, like you're waiting and wondering what to do next from the child, and wait for the child to initiate what to do next. You don't want to play clueless to the point of your child getting frustrated and moving on to a new activity, but neither do you want to just do all the steps for them. We want it to be something we do together in a way that the child enjoys. The child may just need support on how to do it together with you. Examples. If the child grabs a ball and throws it just to grab it and try and throw it again, you want to fetch it first and say, "Hey, my turn," and then toss it to them. If they reach for a desired toy, you might playfully grab it and hold it on your head with a fun, playful expression so they will enjoy coming to get it off your head. If they're running in circles, you may playfully jump in front of them, laughing or smiling, so they have to move around you, playfully interacting. In our example from above, the therapist is waiting on cues from our son about what to do because he is motivated to spill the water, and she used affect to entice our son in each step in the process. First, they needed water. She waited and wondered with him until my son initiated going to the sink. She stopped there and, wondered again until my son initiated turning on the tap. Tip: reciprocity is an important aspect of floor time. Reciprocity means we are about equal participants in the interaction rather than one of us doing more than the other. If the child gives you a glance, gesture, or a word, you respond with about the same amount or a tiny bit more, rather than using a lot of words. Third, expanding the interaction. Whenever we would try to do a floor time session with our son, we could join him and follow his lead, and even challenge him, but then what? We would lose him as his attention was diverted elsewhere. This can be the most frustrated part of floor time, and many parents find this the most challenging piece. Since one of our main goals in floor time is to get a good chain of effective reciprocal interactions going with the child, a good back and forth interaction, verbal and or nonverbal, prolonging every step in our interaction by slowing it down and making it playful and fun can create an enjoyable interchange between you and your child. So once we join and challenge the child, the next step is to add a new element into the play. This will add the novel element that helps our children's brains learn about new experiences. By adding or changing one thing about the play, we aim to continue to capture the child's interest in being with us in our shared world. We are still following their interest, but expanding it just enough to get prolonged interactions with the child. When a child seems stuck, Dr. Greenspan would offer two choices to move the process along: a logical choice first and a silly choice second, since many kids will just repeat the last thing they heard. Meanwhile, Dr. Tippy suggests adding an unknown third choice so the child doesn't think there's a right and a wrong answer. Each step in prolonging the interaction promotes another circle of communication or back and forth interaction. In summary, we want the session to be practice for the child in looking for affective cues, which is our facial expressions, vocal intonations, etc., that help with co-regulation and having a good continuous flow of back and forth of gestures, glances, and or words. Examples. In the example where the child reaches for a desired toy and you playfully grab it and hold it on your head for them to come get it, you can expand this idea by putting it behind you the next time and then under your leg the third time. If you are knocking down a tower with your hands, you might do that for a few times and then change it to a body bumping into the tower, and after that, use a ball to knock down the tower. In our example above with the bin, if wondering what to do next was losing our son's attention, the therapist might have asked our son, "Bin? In the sink? Or on my head?" If he replied head, then she would oblige and put the bin on her head. He would then protest because he really wants to put the water in it, so she could exclaim, "Oh, you want it in the sink." He might then say sink. Back to our example, once outside, she could continue to expand the interaction by holding the bin up high until he initiated an interaction to spill it. She would prolong it by saying things like, "Bin over here or over there, up high or down low." She could have spilled all the water, then spilled a tiny bit of water, change the container that was used for spilling the water, or even have our son help to grab and tilt the bin to spill the water. At the blog post for today's episode is a link to a Pika Boost Play blog post called 3 Ways to Expand Play with Cars. For a much better description than I could ever provide, please listen to Dr. Greenspan himself about how to do floor time. The link is at the blog post for today's episode. This is all nice and good, but what if? What if my child won't stop crying or having a tantrum? What if my child appears to ignore me no matter what I try? What if my child just wants to repeat the same thing over and over? What if all my child wants to do is be violent or do something dangerous? Next time we'll talk about the interaction of the floor time session with the D, development, the I, individual differences, and the R, the relationship with you.
Until next time, here's to choosing play and experiencing joy every day.